This week on Africa Weekly, we take you to India, where Africans facing racist abuse are refusing to give in to fear. We go to Madagascar to listen to the internet sensation Slam Poet using the power of words to help others. And finally, we head over to Ghana, where a football academy is teaching its students to aim high. But first, a summary of the stories that made the headlines this week. Gunfire erupted near the presidential palace in Juba last week, as President Salva Kiir and his deputy, former rebel leader Riek Machar, were both preparing to address the media. After 4 days of intense battles in the capital, leaving hundreds dead and forcing around 40,000 to flee their homes, President Salva Kiir ordered a ceasefire amidst a looming threat of a return to civil war. A heavily armed Ugandan military convoy crossed into South Sudan on Thursday to evacuate citizens trapped in the capital. In the first such visit in nearly a decade, Egypt's foreign minister met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss reviving peace efforts with the Palestinians, amid talk of renewing an Arab peace initiative, and with Israel's military having recently saluted unprecedented intelligence cooperation with Egypt to combat the Islamic State group. Protesting pastor Evan Mawarire has called for more strikes and shutdowns since his release on Wednesday. A court dismissed charges against the pastor, which included attempting to overthrow President Mugabe's government. Recent demonstrations, the largest in several years, have been triggered by an economic crisis that has left banks short of cash and the government struggling to pay its workers. But calls for a nationwide strike this week fell flat. Uganda's main opposition leader, Kizza Besigye, has been granted bail in his ongoing treason trial in the capital, Kampala. Besigye was arrested in May after releasing a video in which he held a mock swearing-in ceremony to protest what he claims was a fraudulent election in February, won by President Yoweri Museveni. A long-standing opponent of Museveni, Besigye has been frequently jailed, placed under house arrest, accused of both treason and rape, tear-gassed, beaten and hospitalized over the years. President Ali Bongo Ondimba, whose father ruled oil-rich Gabon for 41 years, officially registered on Saturday as a candidate for a presidential election in August. Bongo was elected for a first term in a disputed 2009 vote following the death of his father, Omar Bongo Ondimba, who had led Gabon from 1967 and was described by critics as a corrupt despot. The announcement came on the same day that dozens of trade union and civil society group members were arrested at an anti-Bongo rally in Gabon, prompting further demonstrations in the capital on Tuesday. It's been on a marathon tour around the world, but the solar-powered plane, the Solar Impulse 2, arrived at its penultimate stop at Cairo Airport on Wednesday after flying over the Giza pyramids. Just one final leg lies between it and its final destination, Abu Dhabi, where it started its odyssey in March last year. The aircraft landed in Spain last month after completing the first solo transatlantic flight powered only by sunlight. In India, one Congolese student refuses to be cowed by a spate of racist attacks in New Delhi after a friend was beaten up by security guards at his apartment block.
Congolese student Arnold has lived in Delhi for 2 years. But these are tense times. A friend of his was assaulted by security staff at his building in an apparently racially motivated attack.
He called him Kalu. Kalu means monster. My friend got angry. Why do you call me Kalu? Why? Then they took my friend to the basement and he was beaten up. He had 2 fractures. And as of now, he hasn't studied for a year.
Last May, another Congolese student in the city was stoned to death after a row with a rickshaw driver. Violence, insults, and even housing discrimination, often part of a daily life for the 30,000 Africans living in India's capital.
The way they eat, drink, live, everything is different. People say that they end up eating the street dogs, while families are scared that they'll chop up their kids and eat them.
The issue reached a tipping point after the student murder, with African ambassadors threatening to discourage new students from coming to India. Loïc Epagna is one of them, here since 2011, and unlike some others, his experience has been largely positive.
I think of India as my second motherland. She educated me and fed me for 5 years. I learnt a lot of things from Indians. I love their culture.
India is busy courting Africa as advised to keep up with regional rival China. And if it's to succeed, it may need to show that its capital city is still a welcoming place to be.
Revolt, rage and despair. There's nothing 22-year-old slam poet Kayla doesn't speak about. Whether it's the government, globalization or domestic violence, this slam poet does not mince her words.
I have a text that's about a woman who was being beaten up at home. The message I want to get across is that just because I'm a woman, and as they say in Malagasy, Melemi Fanaka, I'm not a soft object that you're going to trample or beat up.
Kyla's first music video is a protest song which, amongst other topics, criticises the Madagascan government. But she's not just about performing. Once a week, she visits this organisation to speak with young mothers, encouraging them to use slam poetry to express themselves with abandon.
I wish I had another life, to live without contempt. I wish I lived in a nice house, to not be a victim when the hurricane hits.
Nanjara attends the sessions with Kayla. She became pregnant when she was 16 and now lives alone in this room with her 4-month-old child.
I was living with my boyfriend. When he found out I was pregnant, he left me. Now there's just me and my baby. But what worries me most is to have to find money as I'm still training.
In Madagascar, 1 in 3 teenage girls falls pregnant or has a child by the age of 18.
I was pregnant. I couldn't hide it. Who should be ashamed, you or me? I sweat like oil.
For these women, slam is a way to tackle any topic: religion, money, even sex. Slam poetry has brought these women together, helping them learn to express and accept themselves just as they are. At the Right to Dream Academy, students can do just that. This football school in the Ghanaian countryside helps 93 promising youngsters improve their skills on the pitch and in the classroom. Education's free, but the children don't take it for granted. Hard work and early starts are all part of the deal.
You actually need lots of self-discipline, because just waking up of bed 5:30, it's quite early, and then training on the pitch like 6:30 because the weather is kind of cold, the pitch is wet, so then you have to try and cope with it. So it's kind of difficult, so you need lots and lots of self-discipline.
These dreams are coming true for some of the Academy's alumni, which includes over 30 professional footballers. But while some go on to make their mark on European football, others fall into traps set by fake agents.
Agents come to them and tell them that, you know, we've got these things we want to do for you, we want to take you to a club abroad. The youngsters are excited, but sometimes when they go out there, what they are told is not the situation. Sometimes they go and they don't even find clubs at all. They are left stranded in streets. Some have to beg to make a living and all of those things. That is the worry.
The Academy ensures their pupils get the protection they need, and the support continues in the school holidays when they're encouraged to give back to the communities by raising funds and starting local projects. Teaching these young footballers how to dream with their feet firmly on the ground.
The family and friends of Eder Lopez said they were happy and proud to hear that the 28-year-old scored the winning goal in extra time of the Euro 2016 final to bring Portugal its first European Championship title in victory over France. Eder was born in the former Portuguese colony of Guinea-Bissau in West Africa, where members of his family still live. Next week we'll go to Senegal to meet the female wrestler who's smashing stereotypes as she prepares to take part in the Rio Olympics this summer. That's all from us at Africa Weekly. Until next week.